On the evolutionary tree of life, it is said that every species is connected with other species, like the closest living relatives of the ferocious dinosaurs happen to be birds, like ostriches and chickens, which are termed as avian dinosaurs. But what about other critters, like the goofy looking dodo bird? The dodo, Raphosuchelatus, is an extinct flightless bird that was endemic to the island of Mauritius, which lies at the east of Madagascar. The dodo is closely related to pigeons, or to be more precise, it belongs to the family Columbidae, the pigeon and dove family, and the closest living relative of the dodo happens to be the Nicobar pigeon. Now, how come this is related to this? Well, the answer is the island syndrome. Now, it is not a disease. Instead, island syndrome can be defined as differences in morphology, ecology, physiology, and behavior of island dwelling species compared to their continental counterparts. Like, for example, a rock pigeon on average is around 0.34 meter tall and weighs about 0.3 kgs, but a dodo must have been around 0.7 meter tall and would have weighed around a whopping 12 kgs. Even the largest living pigeon, the Victoria crown pigeon, whose name commemorates the name of Queen Victoria, happens to weigh around 3.5 kgs. Now, the reason for such a large size was the fact that Mauritius is only an island with barely a landmass of 2000 kilometers square. And since flying is an energy costing act which is only feasible to avoid predators which the island lacked, that is, until humans arrived, and since it was covered by a wide ocean around it, the ancestor of dodo couldn't migrate out of the island, so walking around the island instead of flying was more energy efficient. And one of the reasons that birds are often smaller in size is because they have reduced weight in order to fly. But since Dodo was stuck on the island, it didn't care to fly and could grow to a monstrous size. But there was another reason for it to grow to such large sizes. The Mauritius is an island with distinct rainy and dry seasons, and with food being scarce for half the year, the bird had to keep its food reserves, which only could be accommodated in a larger body frame, since a larger body size equates to more reserves. But one of the biggest difference between modern pigeons and the dodo is in the beak shape. The beak of pigeons is long, but the dodo had a longer, wider bill with a curved end. To understand this difference, let's take a look at the research of the famous naturalist and geologist Charles Darwin, who gave the Darwin's theory of evolution. On his voyage on HMS Beagle, Darwin visited the Galapagos Islands, where he noticed that the differences between the native species on the islands were only in their bill shape. The beak of every species had evolutionarily adapted according to its diet. Similarly, pigeons, which are granivores, that is, grain-eating birds, have a beak that is adapted to that particular function, while dodo happened to be a frugivore, meaning that it ate fruits, so it had a more curved bill, like that of a parrot. Its longer and wider bill might also have been useful for agnostic and courting behavior, and these changes in dodo from its relatives were a result of island syndrome that allowed dodo to survive on the island for a long time. And it must have been quite a resilient bird for being able to survive many natural disasters like flash floods and volcanic activity. But this is until humans arrived. One of the effects of island syndrome is that it makes the species more timid and docile than their continental counterparts because of the lack of exposure to continental predators, which is a bad thing if humans are coming to your island. After their utmost effort and hard work by introducing invasive species and excessive hunting, humans managed to drive the bird to extinction and, like many other species, humans have successfully sent dodo back to their ancestors.